Hello there, it's Quinn with PTSD while black. Um, Vegging as much as I can. Um, so today, and I don't know if you can see it with the way the camera's positioned. I bought a new plant. You can kind of see it in the upper corner. Right. I don't know how to do it. It's right there. Right there. Right there. Yeah, that purple thing. Anyway. Um, and you might notice that some of my dead plants are gone. One of my things that I would do to make amends with people that I feel that I've harmed, but I don't quite have the words to be able to communicate with them, or they may not be willing to receive an apology, um, is that I would buy a plant and I would name the plant after the person that I have harmed or offended, and I would do my best to take care of that plant as best as I possibly could. It started in I don't know if you can see it in the bathroom back there. Um, there are bamboo. There are bamboo in the mirror there. That's what it started with just buying bamboo plants when I lived in Orange County. Um, yeah, the tall one's name is Frank. But I would buy plants, name them after people, and do my best to take care of them, to nurture them as much as I possibly could. And I had a bamboo plant that was up on the shelf there, um, which I bought when I was having high PTSD around police brutality and issues around racism. And I named the plant Racism. Racism died, though I cared for racism. And it was a really beautiful experience because I got to see, while trying to keep this plant alive, I got to see my own role in upholding harmful racist ideas and agendas, such as not questioning things or allowing myself to be muted, um, allowing simple what is it called? Microaggressions to happen, like, um, "Oh, you're so well spoken," as if people didn't expect me to speak well, or "You look so familiar," because all black people look alike. That kind of stuff. Those are small, simple microaggressions versus the lot worse things. Um, but it's looking at my part of how I either tolerated this behavior, I didn't question it, I didn't engage in it, and I still struggle with a lot of things around it, but it's looking at me, helped me to look at what are the ways, especially in my marriage and my relationships, how am I upholding racism or white supremacy? And so, if you're wondering what that piece of paper on the door says, it's how have I dismantled white supremacy today? It's looking at, did I go along with the flow? Did I question things as to why they are? Did I diminish myself? Did I have conflict with other people of color for me? Or for my husband, did he participate in individualism or self-righteous anger? That's internalized white supremacy. So it's kind of just a reminder for us to look at how we're behaving. But back to me, because I am dealing with internalized racist oppression, and something I'm just going to read this. Hold on. Let me grab this from up here. My husband and I would do something that's called a back-to-back meeting. We try to do them 3 times a week on different subjects, and one that we do once a week is on race because we're an interracial couple. And we have a reading on internalized white supremacy and on internalized racist oppression. And these both come from the Dismantling Racism Project by the Western State Center. Google it, you can find it. It's this whole electronic book of huge ideas and stuff of dealing with race. But anyway, I'm going to read Internalized Racist Oppression because we read this week. Um, Internalized racist oppression is the internalization by people of color of the images, stereotypes, prejudices, and myths promoted by the racist system about people of color in this country. Our thoughts and feelings about ourselves, people of our own racial group, or other people of color are based on the racist messages we receive from the broader system. For many people of color in our communities, IRO manifests itself as self doubt, inferiority complex, self hate, powerlessness, hopelessness, apathy, addictive behavior, abusive and violent relationships, and conflict between people of color communities. So, these are just some things that I'm having to look at around my own behavior of how am I upholding racism? Um, am I doubting myself, questioning myself a lot, and especially do I maintain abusive and violent relationships, which violence can be emotional violence. Abuse does not necessarily have to be physical. It can be emotional or mental abuse. So, hold on. What I'm really what I'm really getting to see now that racism, the plant, is dead, I'm really getting to see um, on this journey with my PTSD how much internalized racist depression I have, especially around um, recovering from trauma, um, recovering from physical injuries that I have, my own judgments that I've had around my stutter and speech challenges, um, and even with the traumas that I've had around sexual trauma, the internalized racism that's there, just even admitting that something happened, I immediately would blame myself and have the self hatred come up. And that in my community, there's the same self hatred of blaming the victim as well. So there's like all of these different patterns that I've had to look at of the ways that I've upheld racism. So it felt good today throwing away the plant. um, because at least from the journey, though I've tried to nourish a plant and keep a plant alive, it helped me to look at my own relationship with that harmful behavior, that harmful idea, that harmful concept or entity. So, the purple plant is named after one of my family members because I recognize that we have a lot of internalized racist depression together. And so it's a deeper journey as well as for me to love my family member. Um, though I may not be able to remove those concepts or ideas from their person, that I can still love them, that they still have worth, and that they still have value, even if they may hold on to these their toxic beliefs or ideas. They're totally allowed to do that. But that I have to come from a place of still loving them from a distance and still loving me. And looking at what is my part in participating in abusive and violent relationships or participating in conflict. Am I not listening to or am I not believing people of color? Am I questioning? Am I judging versus allowing them to have their own experiences? It's that type of concept or idea. So yeah, that's where I am, and I'm glad to be moving forward. All right, till next time, kids. Peace. Hello there. I have no idea what just happened.